The van smelled of fast food wrappers and gasoline, the air thick with the chatter of voices that never once included mine. I sat on the edge of the driveway that morning with my small duffel bag in my lap, excited despite myself. It had been years since they invited me on anything resembling a family trip. My son Daniel had called the night before, his tone clipped. "We're heading out at 6 sharp. Don't be late." He didn't say he wanted me there. He said it like an order, as though even my presence was a chore to arrange. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. When the van pulled up, Evelyn, his wife, leaned out the passenger window with her sunglasses perched high, her lips tight in a forced smile. "Hop in, Mom," she chirped, her voice carrying that edge of mockery I'd learned too well. The children tumbled in the back, eyes glued to their glowing screens, thumbs tapping away, barely glancing at me. My heart swelled at the sight of them, even if they didn't notice. They were still my grandchildren. My blood. I pulled open the sliding door, expecting a place among them. Instead, Daniel leaned over from the driver's seat, his voice hard, already impatient. "No room, Mom. We've packed it tight. You'll have to ride in the trunk." I froze. For a second, I thought I'd misheard. "The trunk?" I repeated softly, gripping my duffel tighter. He smirked, revving the engine. "Real family gets seats. You'll be fine back there. It's just for the ride." Evelyn chuckled at his side, whispering something in his ear that made them both laugh. The children didn't even look up. My cheeks burned. I looked inside, the seats stuffed with pillows, snacks, bags, and space enough for one more. But not for me, apparently. Daniel got out, walked to the back, and yanked open the trunk. "Throw your bag in, then climb in yourself." His tone wasn't asking, it was commanding, like I was nothing more than one of those bags. My legs trembled as I hoisted my duffel inside. He gestured impatiently. "Come on, Mom. Don't make a scene. We don't have all day." Evelyn leaned out the window and smirked. "Think of it as an adventure. You've been sitting in chairs your whole life. Try something new." Her laugh was sharp, cruel. I climbed in, lowering myself into the cramped darkness, the smell of rubber and gasoline filling my lungs. The trunk door slammed shut above me, leaving me in the kind of silence that felt like a coffin. The hum of the engine started, the road beneath me vibrating as the van lurched forward. Every bump in the road jolted my body. Every curve made me brace against the hard walls. Above me, I could hear their laughter, their music, the sound of snacks being unwrapped, drinks being shared. They talked about places they wanted to see, about restaurants they'd stop at, about how much fun this trip would be. My name was never part of their words. I lay there in the dark, my hands clenched, my chest aching. They called themselves real family. They shoved me into the trunk like baggage, like I was already dead weight. My own son, my flesh and blood, had ordered me to crawl where even suitcases were treated better. But as the road stretched on and their laughter echoed above me, something inside shifted. My hands brushed against something in the trunk, something hard, hidden beneath a loose mat. My fingers curled around it, and my breath caught. They thought they'd buried me in the dark, silenced me, shoved me away. They thought I was nothing but baggage. But in that trunk, I found something that would remind Daniel and Evelyn exactly who I was, something they never expected me to take. On that family road trip, my son ordered, "Sleep in the trunk. Real family gets seats." He didn't know that the trunk held more than just baggage. It held the key to turning the whole trip upside down. The van rattled along the highway, the hum of tires against the asphalt shaking through the metal walls that pressed in around me. My knees ached from being pulled up to my chest, my breath short in the stale air. Every so often the trunk bounced, the sound of bags shifting around me, Evelyn's laugh trickling through the thin seatbacks like poison. "Should we stop for coffee?" I heard her ask, her voice sugary sweet. Daniel snorted. "Why? Mom's the only one who needs it. She'll be asleep back there soon enough. Old people sleep anywhere." Their laughter stabbed me deeper than the jolts in my spine. I pressed my palm flat against the floor, the vibration of the road buzzing up my arm. That was when my fingers brushed the hidden latch, barely noticeable beneath the edge of the carpet. I tugged it loose and the floor panel popped up with a hollow creak. Inside the compartment lay a small locked tin box. It wasn't mine, that much I knew immediately. My heart pounded as I pulled it out, the weight surprising for its size. The lock was flimsy, and one firm twist of my hands snapped it open. Inside were wads of cash, bundles wrapped tight with elastic bands, a stack of receipts, and documents with Daniel's name scrawled across the top. My breath caught. The papers weren't simple. They were bank slips, invoices, things hidden from Evelyn, things I doubted she'd ever seen. The money smelled faintly of oil, as though it had been stashed away for far too long. My son, who shoved me into the trunk like trash, had been hiding a secret in the very space he threw me into. Above me, their conversation continued, oblivious. "We'll stop at that steakhouse near the border," Evelyn said. "Mom can wait in the car." "Better yet," Daniel chuckled. "We'll keep her in the trunk. People might actually think we kidnapped her. Imagine the looks." Their laughter shook the air, but my own lips curled into a smile in the darkness. He thought he'd buried me in humiliation, but he'd buried himself instead. I ran my fingers along the papers, realizing what they meant. Whatever he was hiding, tax evasion, debts, maybe worse, it was all here, hidden in the same trunk he told me to sleep in. My heart raced with a thrill I hadn't felt in years. For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel small. I didn't feel powerless. I tucked the documents into my duffel bag quietly, smoothing the carpet back into place, leaving the empty tin rattling faintly. Above me, their voices carried on, mocking, certain of my silence. But the silence had shifted now. It wasn't submission anymore. It was planning. When that trunk opened again, I wouldn't climb out weak or humiliated. I'd step out holding the very thing that could turn my son's laughter into panic. On that highway, in the cramped dark, they thought they'd stripped me of dignity. Instead, they handed me the power to rewrite the rest of the journey. Hours later, the van pulled into a rest stop. The engine cut off, the children tumbled out. Evelyn stretched like she was posing for a photograph, and finally Daniel came around to the back. He slapped at the trunk twice with his palm, chuckling. "You alive back there, Mom? Or should we just leave you in for good?" The lock clicked and the hatch lifted. Light flooded in, blinding me for a second. I sat up slowly, duffel bag clutched to my chest. Evelyn peered over Daniel's shoulder, her lips curling into that familiar, cruel smirk. "Well, look at that," she said. "Our baggage survived." I didn't answer. I swung my legs out carefully, my bones stiff, but my grip on the duffel was tight. Daniel frowned. "What's with the bag? I told you to leave it." "No," I said, my voice quiet but cutting through the air like a blade. For the first time, they both went silent. I unzipped the duffel just enough for the corner of a document to show. Daniel's face shifted instantly, his smugness drained, his jaw tightening as his eyes darted to Evelyn. She blinked, confused. "What's in there?" I stood straighter, my back no longer hunched, my voice steady. "Your secrets. Every dollar you thought was hidden, every paper you buried where no one would look. Except you shoved me in there." I tapped the trunk. "You shoved me into your graveyard." Evelyn's smirk vanished. "Daniel? What is she talking about?" He stammered, trying to grab the bag, but I pulled it closer, my grip iron. "Don't!" I warned, my voice sharper than his ever expected. "You put me in the trunk because you thought I was less than you. Just baggage. But while you left, I found the weight you couldn't carry, the weight that will crush you." The children had wandered back by now, watching with wide eyes as Evelyn's voice cracked. "Daniel? What's going on?" His face was pale, his arrogance stripped away. He muttered, "Mom, please. Those aren't what you think." "Oh, I know exactly what they are," I cut in. "Stolen money, hidden debts, lies, and now they're mine." I zipped the bag shut with finality. "So, here's how this road trip goes now. I decide what's next, not you." For the first time in years, silence fell around my son. Evelyn's hands shook, her perfect manicure useless against the truth unraveling in front of her. The children whispered, confused, while Daniel stared at me like a man seeing a ghost. I walked past him, past Evelyn, past the van that had been my prison. The air outside was sharp and cool against my face, each step heavier with purpose. I turned once at the edge of the parking lot and met his eyes. "You said real family gets seats, Daniel," I said softly. "But family doesn't shove their mother into the dark. Family doesn't treat her like luggage. Remember this. Without me, there is no seat for you. Without me, there is no road." I turned and walked toward the bus terminal nearby, my duffel secure at my side. Behind me, their voices rose, panic, anger, fear, all tangled together. But I didn't look back. On that family road trip, my son ordered, "Sleep in the trunk. Real family gets seats." He didn't expect that I would climb out of that trunk carrying the truth of his future in my hands. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.